Good morning, guys. Just get my... Right, so we have obviously had an amazing push to the upside. Now I am in a short on the FTSE 100, just here. So anybody that's interested in trying to trade, good morning, LT, morning, Lewis. No Jeff today. No Jeff. Now, if you guys want to get the short on the FTSE, there is a short on the FTSE. It's available now. You may want to wait until the 8 o'clock open, but I quite like the level, so I've taken the short here. We can manage it as we go. We've probably got around about a 50 pip stop loss. And all I'm trying to do is I'm aiming down here. I quite like this area. There's quite a lot down here. Maybe a drift lower. So we're looking for something in the region of 70 to 90 pips down with a let's call it a 45 pip stop loss. So looking for around about a 2-to-1 early doors. Now, as I say, you may want to wait for the open, but I like the price, so that's why I've taken it on. But if we wait for the 15 minutes, sorry to get straight into detail here, but I don't want you guys to miss the trade. You may want to wait for this bar just for some confirmation, because it's a little bit caged here, and if it goes through, then it may suggest that we at least see these highs, and it will make it pointless getting in here. So if this bar isn't able to go through in the next 3.5 minutes, then you may want to jump on board as well. If it is able to go, sorry, if it isn't able to go through, you might want to jump on board. If it is able to go through, then I would sit it out and wait until you see some further potential downside. I like the price here, and I suspect that we've probably done quite a lot of the upside for a period. Now, some of the reason I think about that is because the China deal is really no good. Oh, you can't see my screen. Sorry, buddy. Okay, let me bring it on. Where are we at? Where's my screen? Oh, come on. Can't find it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Where's it gone? You got a couple of minutes anyway, but let me just see if I can get this screen up. Oh, why can't I find it? Where's it gone? Zoom is playing up. I can't find the control. I can't find the control for Zoom. Where is it? What's that? Oh, I'll have to give you price levels. Let me give you price levels until I find this. Okay, so you're looking at 73.88 for a short, and your stop is going to be 45 pips above that. So 73.88 for the short. Now I'm going to try and find Zoom, but I can't seem to find it. Hold on. Where is it? Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to sign out and sign straight back in. Okay. Can't seem to find. I don't know what's going on with Zoom here. Right, how's that? Is that better? Hopefully we're in now. Haven't missed anything. How's that? Everybody see my screen now? Yeah, cool. Okay, so we are short FTSE now. You got time? 77.80, 77.88 is your short price. So we're floating around there right now. And I'm just looking to see whether we come down here. Stops are going to be at the highs effectively. So I'm looking at the futures, but you guys will be on the cash. So have a look at that. I am looking to I'm looking to see whether we can actually break these pivots. Now we might need to be. This first pivot is going to be an issue because there's already a test down here. So if it pops down here, the likelihood is that it's going to probably pop back up again. So that might be the point that it's worth taking half off and getting those stops to break even. If it gets down to that point. If we get through the month, if we get to the monthly pivot, I can just see us drifting a little bit lower. So this area is the we're around about 40 pips away from where we need to do anything, and we'll have to watch out for that. Obviously, it might explode to the upside, but my reasons for looking for the short. That China-American trade deal is still kind of contentious from what I'm hearing. I don't think that they've signed anything. There was some disagreement between whether Trump was rolling back tariffs or whether he was previous tariffs, and the Chinese thought that he was rolling back the previous tariffs, and I think he's got a little bit cold on that. So I don't anticipate a big move higher. So if we get through this level, which is possible, I mean, I'm by no means claiming that I always pick exactly the point to go short, but I'm pretty good at assuming what the overall direction will be, and I think that the general direction here is down. So it's just trying to get the right level. And if it's not here, you could conversely, rather than putting stops up at this point, you could just put stops up here, because it's likely to pop up to the top then, and then we can go short again. So there are a couple of places that stops could go. Maybe even above the previous bar would be okay, plus a spread, because if it's popping through there, then it might have some more room, and then we can have a look at another short. Now there is an overall target to the upside, which is the target. I am certainly a bull. I'm just playing a little bit of downside, really, to see if I can get along. So this is the thing about taking the half the profit here. The only reason that I'm suggesting that is that I think that there could be a little bit further down. But really, what we're trying to do is go long. So I'd like to leave. So what you could do here is, rather than stop this one out, is just put half on, put a buy order in here, because what I'd like to do is get a free long, if you like. So I'm going short to go long, and it's just trying to kind of figure out where it will be. And I like it down. I don't like this price here, which is why I would be reluctant. So I think it probably will pop, but I'll be reluctant to sort of to look down there, which is about, as I say, 40 pips below where we currently are. And then I'd like to drift down and see if we can touch this weekly pivot, maybe touch the trend line possibly, and then look for the long, leaving the short on the table until the long is able to get to break even, and then closing the short, hopefully at some profit as well. So the idea is for a long, and the idea, my reason for that is that I think there's some room to the upside. And when we look at this on the weekly chart, this pattern is still a little bit concerning. But the thing about the weekly is, if this holds here for 2 weeks, if it doesn't break through here in the next 2 weeks, I think this is going down early January. But if we can get a breakthrough, then I think we're aiming for this level up here, which is, there's plenty of room up there. Now the market is pretty is fairly confident right now. We still have the kind of Santa rally seasonal aspect in this as well. So there's a few reasons that I think that there's still some upside here, and I'm just trying to get a free trade, really. You could try and go long here, but I think it's expensive. You could just simply wait until it pops down a little bit and then go long. But I'm just trying to get a freebie. I want to take the short and see if I can get along with a short just covering it. So I don't have to actually pick the best level, if you see what I mean. So I would like to wait for the weekly pivot, but we'll see what goes on there. Now we're going to aim up here. Ultimately, we're aiming to this point. Now, at this point, then things change dramatically, and I want to see how things develop there. It's possible we go through and we start hitting all-time highs in the FTSE, and if that's the case, then we'll just continue to ride it long. And you know, there's plenty of room. There's 200 pips from this point to this point, so that means if we can get the long here, then we can add all the way up. So as I say, just to reiterate, I've got a short in the market, but my short in the market is just so I can see if I can get a freebie to the upside, rather than just trying to pick the long. And the other thing about trying to pick the long at this particular level is it's just too high for me. You know, this is just too expensive. So I want it down. And I think there's a decent chance we come down. You know, the other thing about this is the pound. So let's just have a look across the board here. Now we can see that the pound has just popped again this morning, just to the upside a little bit. It's you know, it's still got to fill this gap, and I think it probably will do that. And ultimately, that could promote some upside in the FTSE. So let's hope the timing doesn't go against us here, and the FTSE starts to pop up just because the pound actually starts to fill this gap. I'd like to see this hold a bit, let the FTSE come down, and then close the gap. So I am quite keen on the short. So that is that. Now the other thing is gold. Gold has been moving quite nicely to the upside. It's in quite a nice kind of hourly trend at the minute, and that also doesn't really suggest downside at this particular stage. I think there's some downside coming with gold, but seasonally we really start to hit a pretty good picture with gold in the next few weeks, and I wonder whether people are going to buy gold as some protection if they are going to continue to buy the stock market. So you know, we're looking at the FTSE, but also the S&P. S&P hit those all-time highs. Not the best chart there. Let me bring this onto a clean. S&P hit those all-time highs, and it continues to ease up. But I think there's going to be some nervousness up here. So I think rather than protect by people maybe getting out of stocks, I think what they're probably more likely to do is buy some gold. So that's the thing. Gold and the S&P could both rally at the same time. All right, so the market has just popped up a little bit. The FTSE 100 has just popped up a little bit. So now this area here, this is the area that we need to hold. It's about 30 pips up. But you know, as I said, I just like this. I like the price here. You know, this is a daily chart now, so we're just looking in the hourly and the 15 to try and get the real pinpoint accuracy. But if you look generally along this area, what we have really is a classic horizontal level. You know, it was resistance here, it became support here, it becomes resistance, it becomes resistance, it becomes resistance, it becomes resistance. And what's going to happen here? I mean, will it resist significantly enough to give us some downside? Maybe unlikely. But can it resist just a little bit early doors, just to give us a decent price to the upside? I think there's a decent chance. And as I say, I don't really hear too much that would take this market through just yet. So that's another reason that I'm really after this short right now. Okay, let's check the news for the day. There's no Jeff today, so I might need your guys' help on looking at any other charts. You guys got anything you want to bring forward to have a look at? That would be amazing. So we could make the show a bit longer, or I probably won't have too much to say. Jeff's unfortunately away till Thursday, so I might need you guys to help me out until then. Okay, let's have a look. So this is the news and data of the day, and we can have a look for the week and see what we can ascertain. Chinese numbers were pretty good over the you know, during the morning, and actually there were a significant beat there, weren't they? Industrial production was way up, Retail sales were way up as well. Unemployment stayed pretty much the same. Japan didn't have a great day, and actually the Nikkei didn't have a too good a day either. We got flash PMIs from the Eurozone in the next 15 minutes, next 5 minutes. See what happens there. And we got some pretty big numbers also from the UK later on. So this also would suggest maybe some pound downside. So maybe that FTSE is going to be a little bit under stress here. To be coming down. I think that the market certainly looks pretty keen. I think might be worth closing those FTSE positions actually, and seeing if there's a better price to the upside or a better picture, rather than staying with it, because that still looks pretty keen to my mind. I don't. I'm not going to close it myself, but I have a slightly different approach to these things, so I'm going to hold on. As I say, I like the longer term price, and that's really what I'm trading here. So you can look on daily charts if you like, rather than the hourly. So flash BMIs out of Europe. That's going to be interesting for the euro. And what else do we have? Stress test from the UK as well. We'll have a quick look at what else we have for the week. Monetary minutes from Australia. Otherwise, tomorrow is fairly quiet. What else? CPIs from the UK on Wednesday. And then we have a monetary policy decision on Thursday as well. Probably going to be left on hold, but they may intimate something for January. So we need to be aware of what's going to go on with that. Okay, so where are we at? Oh no, okay, that's great. You're right, mate. Yes, you're right. That's fine though. That's fine. I wouldn't be trading the FTSE just yet. The FTSE is a bit of a different animal, so I would not. I wouldn't trade that just yet. Okay, but are you still in the euro yen? Because we can discuss that instead. Great. Okay, let's have a look at that instead. So I'm going to bring this on here. Well, the stock market is still very, very keen at the minute. Right, so euro yen looks like let's check those numbers coming out. Okay, so now this is on the dailies, wasn't it? This is your entry bar here, right? That was your entry bar, or was it that one? It was this one, wasn't it? Can't remember what your entry bar was, but no, it can't be that one. Maybe this one. So you're not doing anything this week anyway. Let's just see where you need to be a little bit careful. Now, I would encourage you to draw just a few draw a few lines on your chart, because as the price goes up, obviously you want to be always 10 pips below the weekly pivot or price from the previous week. but also I would suggest, if it's close enough to the trend line, I'd get under the trend line as well. Just keep yourself out of trouble. Now I know you're not doing anything this week because you entered it last week, didn't you? So this is week 2. But you maybe just need to be a little bit careful on your stops. 10 pips. Actually, it's going to be pretty close, isn't it? Yeah, you may not get under that. This one will be okay though. There's another little trend line here. So I'd sort of, and all you want to do with trend lines is just draw a point, the very lowest point in your chart that you can see. Just draw to the next lowest point, and then it'll extrapolate. And when you go to MT4, when you go to MT4. Yes, LT. That is the case. The FTSE is high because of that, and there's no doubt about it. The FTSE will continue to. I am looking for the long. I just don't like the price here, so I'm just looking for a dip first before I take that long. Maybe it doesn't come down. Maybe it gets so excited that it just continues to motor forward. But that's okay, because if that's the case, the dip will come eventually. And I'll take advantage of the next dip. There will be a dip in the FTSE. It's just not likely that it just flies. And the thing about the weekend, 120.29. The thing about the weekend was that there was a lot. There was a lot on Friday. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so 120.29. Okay, so that's your entry. Brilliant trade. And now you're just going to give yourself a chance. Now, let's have a look then. So European PMIs and data points need to be favorable for you now, Ravinder. So that's what you want. You want the news and data to continue to be good. Now, there's a few little things that you should recognize here. Let's have a look what we got for the PMIs to start with. Come on. Right, here we go. Oh dear. That was a beat. That was a beat. That was a miss. So French PMIs are not particularly good. Sorry, French manufacturing not very good. French services better. Pretty sure the French economy isn't too reliant on manufacturing, so that's not too bad. But it is a bit of a miss, so that's not great. But not too bad. Let's just have a look at the chart on that and see how bad it is. Yeah, pretty muted really. So I mean, it had a little bit of a flurry during 2017, but you can see that. So historically, manufacturing right back to 2012 is fairly muted anyway. It doesn't seem to be a huge driver. I mean, obviously we are in a different time now, but even going right back, it doesn't. Yeah, it seems to fluctuate. So not a hugely important number. Now, the thing to know at this point, Ravinder, these are where you're going to start getting those little extra bits of education. Anything below 50 suggests contraction, and anything above 50 suggests expansion. So as long as it's not below 50, it's not the worst thing in the world. Let's have a look at the services PMI. Yeah, services PMI fairly solid. So that's nothing to drive the euro down. Not a problem. So the first thing to note really is that you want to be looking at these PMI numbers and note that the 50 line is really significant. So as I say, anything below 50 suggests contraction, and anything above 50 suggests expansion. So be aware of that. Now the other thing to note is that you are in a euro yen trade, and the yen is significant because it is associated with risk off. So if the markets are unsure, people tend to go to the yen. They'll tend to sort of buy up the yen and keep things safe by trading the yen. It tends to have fairly decent surplus monetary trade surplus numbers. So people sort of quite like the yen for some safety. So as the and you know that's when you sort of like look at the barometers around the world. You're going to look at the S&P. You're going to look at look at gold. And just check the the general kind of sentiment in the market to understand whether it's risk on or risk off. Now I'll show you what I mean by that. If the stock markets generally, so S&P, which is the Standard & Poor, which is the American 500 top 500 companies, is up, that's risk on. Dow Jones, the DJ30, risk on. So you know, this is also up, so that's risk on. Gold going up usually would be risk off when gold's going up, but actually we see some weakness here with gold, so that's not too bad at all. So a bit of risk off possibly, but maybe a bit of indecision. The Aussie tends to be a risk on currency and looks a little bit tenuous, but I think the Aussie's hold, as long as the Aussie holds that point, actually it's a pretty good price for some upside with the Aussie as well. So that would suggest that the yen would probably weaken, and as you are long euro yen, I think you got a pretty good trade there. So so you want to stick in there with that. Yeah, and just down to the election results. 50% on the euro yen. You can enter. Yes, you can enter that one. You can re-enter that one. It's not a problem. Now we'll come back to the FTSE very quickly here. Now the FTSE's obviously exploded a little bit to the upside, and there may be a little bit more to come. So I need to be a little bit careful here with the FTSE. Now it depends which it depends what you decided to do. It depends whether you chose to now the reason I've got stops ready to go if you like, but I'm not going to place them just yet because I like to eyeball the market a little bit just to see if I get a fluctuation. I don't want to get stopped out on a fluctuation, so I'll make a judgment call and see what happens as price goes up to a level. So that's why you can't see anything above my chart, but they are in my head. I know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to approach that. But right now, it depends on what your strategy was. You know, if you decided to get stopped out here, really you've got the new entry at this position, and I think that's okay. If your stops are up just a bit above this level, then you're still all right anyway. So let's see what happens. Explosive move to the upside. So far, no follow through, but there does seem to be some confidence out there. Let's just double check the pound one more time. Yeah, the pound might start to ease up as well. Okay. Well, that's pretty much what I've got right now. I don't have too much else. I mean, I am a FTSE 100 trader. We don't have Jeff with us today, so I'll probably leave you with this. The trade is on, and I'm going to let this one run. I'm not going to. It's just, you know, the key thing is when things kind of like go significantly the other way. As long as you know, my kind of my stops, if you like, are going to be above this level. So if things start to explode up, then I will protect. But if not, then I'm just going to leave things alone because the key thing really with this is to not panic. You know, that was a fairly seismic move, if you like, early doors. My goodness me, it was as well. It was a 50 pip move, and already 40 away from where I entered. So fairly solid move to the upside. So you know, could get a little bit hairy here. So I've got to be a little bit careful. But the key thing for me is you know, don't panic, and there will be an opportunity to kind of sort this one out if necessary. If not, then I'll just let it run. And as I said before, I am really aiming for upside. It's just trying to get a better price on the upside, and the way I can get a better price is for this to ease down a little bit, and then see if I can pick it up down here while I've got my short on. So that's what I'm playing. It's always a dangerous strategy, that, but I like it, and you know, it does tend to work out. No problem. No problem, LC. It's probably no bad thing. This FTSE looks kind of fresh, doesn't it? It's looking looking probably quite keen. So there might well be some further upside. You know, the thing about this, as I said, is that if this FTSE breaks out, there's a 200 pip run up. So it's not the worst thing in the world to be out right now. Let the picture kind of unfold, I would suggest. Cool. Okay, mate. Let's have a look. Yeah. See, this looks pretty keen, doesn't it? It looks like it's fairly keen to go. It's already actually through that particular price. So there could be some further upside here. Okay, let's have a look at the Aussie. Right. Okay, the Aussie. Right, so obviously we got the Wave Rider here. Well, check your the big thing you got there, Ravinder, is the super trend. I don't know what color is your super trend. Oh, is it really? Okay. Oh, why is mine red? Okay. All right. Well, in that case, then you've just got today then. So you know, I think it's okay. I don't know why mine's red. I do have an old version of the Wave Rider, so that could be something to do with it. Let's change this. So what you want is this bar to be a buying bar. So you can't do it today. It's got to be tomorrow. But when you get into tomorrow, then it, you know, I would suggest that there's probably some upside with that one. I think you're right. I really like it. I mean, horizontal line. Let me see what the oh, actually, I don't have. Do I have horizontal lines on this particular version? I don't think I do. I don't think I've got horizontal levels on my version here. But I'll tell you what I do like about it. I like the fact that it's come through this trend line. That looks pretty good to me. Now the monthly is going to be bouncing off the monthly pivot, which I've got to be honest, I don't love the bounce off the monthly pivot when the monthly pivot is so high. Oh no, sorry, the weekly, isn't it? Yeah, bounce off the yeah, that's cool. Bounce off the weekly. The 200 being up here is a problem. And it is also a problem that you've got this resistance zone here, and maybe that's where yeah, that's probably where your horizontal line lies, right? So you don't have a lot of room to move up, and that is a bit of an issue. But in saying all that, I do like the breakout here, and I quite like the Aussie. You know, let me just see what this looks like on a weekly chart. Don't like that very much. Do you know the problem with this? It looks like actually this line looks a lot more significant than I thought. I do like that. I do like that quite a lot. Let's just make sure the line is tight here. I think the line probably does join that one, so I think that's okay. Yeah, I like it. I like it. It looks to me like there may well be a hint of a breakout here. And if this is broken out, if we are starting to see the markets get a little bit more risk on, then you will see the Aussie probably be the you know, one of the beneficiaries of that. So obviously it's not today. You're looking at tomorrow. You know, to wait until today's bar is finished. But when today's bar has finished, I think you are definitely looking for a buying opportunity with that one. I like it, mate. Well done, well done. That's two really good trades there. Well, Ravinder's just learning the daily wave rider, but let's have a look at the 4 hour as well. Okay, let me see, 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, the thing with the 4 hour, and this is another reason you definitely want to wait until today's bar is finished, because the thing with the 4 hour currently is the 4 hour is kind of suggesting that we might have a lower high here, which suggests it's going to ease back down again, which means that today, by the end of today, you may not have a buying bar, because if the Aussie does ease back, if this situation with China and America isn't really resolved, is the Aussie likely to explode up? Probably not. I do remember that there was some data, wasn't there? What was the data on the Aussie? Nothing today. Overnight, we have some monetary policy minutes, so that's going to be quite interesting. That could be problematic, Ravinder. Tomorrow that this is going to be a fairly significant announcement here. So make sure you get the right signals is the key here. This is a fairly significant announcement. Monetary policy meeting minutes. So they're going to be discussing, why they'll be leaving interest rates where they are, or why they, why they might look to either raise them or lower them at some point. So that's a significant thing, and traders will be watching that. So either you wait until, I mean, obviously you're going to wait until the end of the day anyway, but that one is going to be fairly close to the end of the day. So when the end of the day happens, that's going to be fairly close to that. So you either wait until I guess that is done and then put your trade on using the same trigger, or you wait another day. You have to be kind of careful with that. That kind of announcement, as I say, it's pretty significant. So wait is the answer to that one, but I think LT's right. When we come down to it, we spot 69.23, 69.23, 69. Oh gosh, no. You don't have to worry about it. Wait, no, I'd be looking at literally just above this bar. Currently above. Let's have a look at what it looks like by the end of the day. If because what might happen is that we might actually see a low test bar, if you like, bouncing off the weekly pivot, because investors are fairly confident that those monetary policy minutes are going to be favorable. But let's see what happens at the end of the day, because if this is a buying bar, then it's just going to be 1 pip plus spread above the bar, above this bar. So no, when you say about getting through this level, yes, that's going to make the trend go really sort of, that's got some open water then to really kick in. But you want to enter before you get to this line for sure, because this is a bit contentious, and you may end up getting in, taking profit, getting stopped out, getting in, taking profit, getting stopped out before it's really ready to explode. It may not go through on the first time of asking, but it looks like it should get there eventually, but it might take a few days. But I would enter every single day that there is a signal, rather than waiting on that one. Right, that's pretty much all I've got, guys, and I probably should actually get to managing this trade. So let's come back again tomorrow. I'll see if I survive the trade in the end or not. I might have to do some work on this in a bit. We'll see on that. But yeah, we'll come back again tomorrow and do it then. And as I say, we'll see. So I'll let you know if I manage to survive this this FTSE rally, which is currently going on and still pretty keen right now. Might be all right actually. I think I'll probably wait until the UK data is released, and it might continue up a bit higher. You too, buddy. You too. No problem at all. Obviously, you know what you're doing now. Just waiting a day. If you got nothing to trade today and you want to do some research, that's going to be great for your education. But if you find that difficult to not trade when you're in front of the charts, then just step away. It's not mandatory to trade. Third Monday. Oh, is it today? Oh gosh, I forgot that. Third Monday of the month. Yes, you will be entering the S&P. Let's have a look at that. So, oh gosh, here we go. We're already up then. So this just needs to be green by the end of the day, and you got another winning trade. That's fantastic. Fantastic. All right, guys. Well done. Well done. Looks like you're getting to grips with this this trading malarkey. Easy, right? Awesome. All right, I'll see you same trade time, same trade channel tomorrow. It will just be me. Probably be half an hour shows, I suspect, because I don't have a lot to say if the market's quiet. But right now it's looking pretty good, and I quite like going through bits on a Monday, so that's quite useful. So probably going to be waiting until 9:30 UK time to do anything with this FTSE, I would suspect, because we got some pound data then. All right, guys, have a great rest of the day, and well done. Paul is not in. I'm not sure if that's coming in because of the Zoom, but Paul's not on right now. But it'll be me and Jeff again on Thursday, but I'll be back tomorrow, as I say, same trade time, same trade channel. See you then, guys.